Hey internets, I'm designer John Phenom, and you've clicked on this video because you want to learn how to become an artistic director. Now, I just want to say, in my experience, an art director is the highest level that you can reach from a graphic perspective. So a lot of art directors start as graphic designers, and what they do is they control the visuals, they oversee the visuals, and they produce the visuals for label and trim, any kind of hang tags, any kind of printable items like flyers or pamphlets, booklets. Obviously, they're in charge of all the visuals for the catalog and the lookbook, all the graphic language for the t-shirts. And as we're expanding now, a lot of graphic designers are in charge of web assets. Anything that has to do with online web space or social media platform that needs to be a produced graphic from the company. For now, let me qualify. I've been working professionally in fashion since 2000. Since that time, I've done everything you can think of in fashion. I was a fashion editor of a magazine in print, back when you used to print magazines. I've done styling, wardrobe, art direction for music videos. I've done men's apparel in every single category. I've flown to Asia way too many times that I have to for a 13-hour flight, and I've been a creative director in which I control the visual aspect of every part of a multi-million-dollar men's brand. You can find out more about me on johnphenom.com, but enough about me, let's talk about you and your journey to become an art director. The first piece of advice that I have is you need to have a mastery of your graphic design programs. So Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop are just the beginning of the programs that you need to have on your resume. You should probably have like 5 or 6 programs. Everything that Adobe Suite has to offer is something you should know about, or if not, have almost a mastery of. I even believe maybe some video editing experience, and you should know how to operate programs that are right around the fringe of what you have to do. Also, page layout program, whichever one is most popular as you click on this, is one you should have mastered as well. Because I'm a designer that tends to work on Adobe Illustrator, if I could run my life through that program, it would be very easy. I mean, keyboard commands and shortcuts are just like breathing for me. It's very second nature, very efficient, and very quick for me to get to the finished product when I'm working graphically. Now, a artistic director needs to be able to use multiple tools and learn how to come up with the best version of their graphics time after time in a very quick manner, because typically most clothing lines are way behind or need to catch up. So any minute that you can spare is a minute saved and a minute put towards the future, but more times than not, it's just helping to catch the whole art department up. So have a mastery of all the graphic design programs that are necessary to run your job, and know them in and out, know them efficiently. The second piece of advice that I have is be a great communicator. It's very important as the artistic director to be able to transfer your ideas and your energy graphic-wise or creatively into thoughts and notions and t-shirts and graphics that are then put to market and put out there in retail. Because a lot of graphic designers tend to be introverted and very artistic, sometimes this is left to the wayside. So I think a true artistic director really learns to hone in their communication skills. One way to do this is to take on a lot of freelance. Take on jobs that you wouldn't normally take on that might be more challenging for you. Try to accomplish a project in a style that you typically wouldn't use to finish a job quickly. This way you're exercising a lot of different muscles that you wouldn't versus an in-house job. If you're working full-time and you clock in and you clock out, there's no challenge there. I mean, there's challenge within the projects you have to do, but when you have a client that's solely paying you for the end result, it's kind of a different challenge for you, both professionally and graphically, and it forces you to be a very good communicator. Another tip I would say is be very vocal at meetings. You know, if you are able to really hone in the group or speak intelligently for your ideas and concepts and themes, which to some people can be very abstract. For example, trying to sell a theme or a concept to a sales guy when they don't see the fabric, they can't see the finished woven or the finished jacket or the finished collection. It's very important to be able to communicate it with words. Versus my tip number 1, you know, everyone needs to know how to operate the machinery. But I believe to really step up in leadership and go into art director, you really have to have a really honed in or maybe even a mastery of your communication skills. The third tip that I want to extend is you should really be on trend. Any serious artistic director should have a really good breadth of knowledge when it comes to their industry, their niche, their brand, of course, and then moving outwards from there. It's very refreshing to hear when you might have an interesting take that doesn't quite have to do with the very central core of what your particular industry is. Keeping an eye on stylings and fashion, graphic notions, so that you can really talk intelligently about what is in at this moment and what is about to trend in the next season, and what last season was about. Now, for execution of doing good graphic design, putting out really good t-shirt program that has great visual language, and putting out good clean label and trim, and anything that accompanies the visual packaging of your clothing line, you want to bear in mind that what you design for that brand isn't always going to be cutting edge. And this is why you need to have a good knowledge, a good base of everything surrounding it. Because let's just say you're selling a lot of product in the Midwest where they might be a few seasons behind, because that's just simply the buying pattern out there, because not everybody lives in Los Angeles, California or New York City. And so just knowing how you need to adjust and where you need to place things. And I think being on trend on an intellectual level will really set you apart from other people and get you that candidacy to become an art director, because people will see that you have a vision outside of just the scope of just the project you're dealing with and just the season you're dealing with, but really having a good grasp of the brand and speaking intelligently about its place and its position in the industry and where you would like it to be or envision it to be. Now, my fourth tip for becoming an artistic director kind of feeds in from number 3, but you've got to show consistency in really good selling product. I'm not talking about just logistical sales. Being able to speak about the true art direction of the company and of the brand season after season is very important. And the art directors that are on top each time will always have consistent sellers. It will be a sign that you do know what's going on and there's a proven result in the financial movement of your company. You got to remember, everyone who's like an artist or a graphic designer, you have to remember that fashion is also a business. So business must be made and sold, and it's done in units of the clothing company. So the creative director or the apparel designer or whoever else is involved in the actual process of moving product, all very important parts of the team. But graphic design is one very sharp voice for the company. Think of it this way. There might be people who have a lot of money to spend on full outfits when they're buying clothing and they're going shopping. But you always have that kid that's kind of broke, maybe a broke college student. Some of you might understand this. I know I definitely understand being broke before. Sometimes you need a low price point item just to make you feel like you're getting some new, fresh things to kind of wear and put into your wardrobe. So a lot of kids are going to be buying t-shirts. And for your t-shirt to be the one that they choose, that they feel is really cool, to feel like it's the one they want to leave the store with, says something. And so it will say something in your numbers and as you track the numbers. Some of the best artistic directors that I know have a killer instinct for this, and before the line even begins for the new season, they know what must-haves they need to put into the line. They have a reference point from their mood board or their concept board where it's like, hey, I want to do kind of a flip on this idea and we must do it, and they will fight for that idea. And sales directors and sales managers will give you a little bit more leeway if they see that you have a proven result. But one thing is for sure, when I'm choosing artistic directors for a project, I know that they have an eye for things that sell because they produced it before. And the last tip that I have for those who are aspiring to become an artistic director is be flexible and open. I run into a lot of professionals who have an opposing viewpoint of this, so this is a little bit of John Phenom mixed into this group set. But what I find is when you come into an operation where there's multiple people working for one goal and one focus, it's very difficult for people to find traction when you're dead set on your concepts and you're not willing to hear what others have to say. Matter of fact, it sends many brands to the graveyard, and it can easily be the death of a brand to have an art director say no to a concept and not really fully utilize it for what it could be, or see its potential. You make enough mistakes like that and it's death by 1,000 cuts. As you're trying to make your way up the ladder and really earn that spot of artistic director, you know, all of it has to do with your concept and you know, what it means to be a veteran and know your stylings very well. But I think part of retaining being a great leader in a creative context is keeping your mind open to new ideas. So I hope this gave you some value. If you did, let me know on the links below. Please like and share this video if you feel that good about it, and jump onto my YouTube channel and subscribe it. I have over 100 videos on how to get your brand to the next level. Get on there and click away. My name is Designer John Phenom. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.